ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the industry hosted by my wonderful self. Yes, I'm one of them. I'm the guy. That was it. Respect. James Walkway. As you see, I've gotten a new haircut, after everybody had told me how stupid I look. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, Ethan isn't here. He has a real reason why he couldn't be here. Ethan, I'm going to get you for this one. But anyway, we have a guest in the studio, Femi Ogunsanwo.
Yeah, you kind of got it. Kind of, sort of, but...
My Yoruba sucks, man. Shit, Tenny, give me lessons. No. I'll fire you for this. Anyway, today's episode is sponsored by Fatima, my wife. Yeah, please, Tenny. Thank you. Yeah, the M&M's, water. At least we have money small. Crackers. Yeah, crackers. Even though that, yeah, moving on. All right. Femi, welcome. Thank you so much for coming through, man.
Cool, bro. Cool.
Apparently,
cool.
Femi's directing this week.
Yeah, I'm directing this week. I'm on set this week.
Famous telenovela that premieres in a week by the time this episode airs.
But everybody already knows the name now.
Yeah,
it's already out there.
Unbroken.
Yeah, Unbroken is already out.
I think that everybody feels like I always bring all my work people to
Don't
the podcast.
you?
Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever. Anyway, Femi, thank you so much for coming through.
Sure.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we'll see. We can't get through all of them. We can't get through everything.
We have a lot to talk about. Anyway, I'll get to what we're discussing. It's like like two topics, but anyway, we'll move on to the right one. But usually, like we always do, we always discuss what happened in the week.
Yeah.
Filmmaking. So there was some lady on the Twitterverse. Her name is Molara Woods. I'm sure it's Omolara. I'm not.
Yes, it's most likely Omolara.
Yeah. So there's this thing about critics that happen. Like some chick came and she was criticizing Nollywood.
Yeah, I mean she's an art critic, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna read the first tweet. Overdramatic, hammered-up performances are what is celebrated as great acting, often in Nigeria. Films without vision, deeper message, or underlying meditative thought are masterpieces. Overhyped directors at start of journeys still finding their voices hailed as masters. And then she went on, there was a long ass thread.
Yeah, she talked about certain kind of films.
Yeah. And then, somebody, which I ain't gonna mention his name because I think I mentioned his name too much, decided to defend himself and also defend someone else who made another film that had to do with mobsters in Nigeria. Moving on, but they went on and started talking about how why should you talk about Nollywood if anybody talks trash about Nollywood, ask them about their own job XYZ.
Yeah.
Basically, here's my own point. I'm like, look, everybody has a right to say whatever it is they want to say about Nollywood. First of all, you make movies for people to spend money. I'm going to go to cinema. True. I'm going to pay money to watch. I'm giving you my hard-earned money. If you're not impressing me, I have every right to come and say I don't like the movie. Yeah. You can't come and abuse me you can't take a pee, right? What are your thoughts? Because it's Femi that gave me this gist. Because hello, I was on Twitter. I said I was going on. Femi just gave me
where you been? Yeah, no, that day was funny. James came on Twitter at the end of the day, and everybody had been fighting all day. They had been fighting all day. He was like, "What's going on? I'm like, guy, the war is over now. The battle has ended. People have given up." So I responded to his tweet. Says, "I see now." So a lot of the things she said, some of them were right. Maybe not some. Maybe if you say more than half of them were right, or maybe even a lot more than half were right. But what I found interesting was there's one of the tweets. If you had gone further down, she had a thread where she talked about where she lumped the entire industry together. Yeah, and that upset some people.
Why?
Well, because if you don't, I think for some people, if you don't make those kind of films, she was calling out because it was obvious what films she meant, right? And she was talking about the big event films and things like that. If you don't make if you don't make those kind of films, you'd probably be upset, and that's why probably he was upset and he came out big time after her. Yeah. The first thing for me at the end of the day, and I'm sure I had a few drafts that I was just like, do I want to get involved in this film?
Do I want to tweet this? Oh my God.
Yeah, no, let me just leave them alone. But I think the thing for me at the end of the day was this. Like, and maybe I even did like the incoming filmmakers. Maybe I did them a disservice in not tweeting what I wanted to tweet because I was fine with everything he said. Right? I'm like, not that I agree with it, but I'm fine with it. Anybody can say whatever. But the thing for me was incoming filmmakers, when you're new, right? Or you're even a veteran, I'd say as you're coming in new, don't come in with the perspective of, or the mindset of, if I make a film and a critic gives it a horrible review, right, or writes terrible things about the film, I will now instantly go on fighting mode. What do you do on your side job?
Yeah.
You're useless, this and that. Now, I think if you're coming in, right, try this. If you are lucky in your first film and you get 10 reviews, it means that people saw your trailer or your poster, or they heard about your film and felt it was worthy enough for them to watch it.
Yeah, and pay money for it.
Yeah, pay money for it. Sit down and write about it.
Yeah, true.
Just that's, first of all, you've taken one good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Right? Some of them, maybe all of them or most of them, will write things that you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Or things you're not happy about. Read it. Ask yourself if they are right. Okay? In some places they'll be right, in some places they'll be wrong. You'll read a review and you won't agree with anything there.
True.
Right? You'll read a review and you'll see all the things they're correcting you most of the time. You know, this happened to us in our first films. Most of the things they will say, you've already seen it in post.
Yeah.
Like, I should have done that.
Exactly.
So they may be right. Okay? And sometimes you will see things that you didn't even realize, right? You were trying to go one way, but they're interpreting it in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another thing. So you will learn.
I feel like the last
from seeing people's reviews.
Like the last thing I would say is, I feel like a lot of filmmakers need to emotionally detach themselves from their films once they're done. I understand that, yeah, you've put in heart and soul, X, Y, Z, but you need to realize that it's a product. You've made a product and you've brought it out for beta testing, in quotes, or for public consumption. And the truth is, you made it for people to watch. All that whole thing about, oh, there's a market for this movie, that's bullshit. Like, yeah, there's a market for this movie, but you don't determine who the market is. Like, if I think I like rom-com, it's my choice to go to the cinemas to pay for the movie. And if I go there and I decide that what I paid for, I did not get quality service for it, and I'm opening my mouth, I'm talking about it, then I'm allowed to talk about it. Like, you can't come after me, I'm telling me X, Y, Z. But anyway, if anybody wants to comment more about this, you can put in the link or whatever, or go on Twitter, see the gist for yourself and let me know. But I feel like at the end of the day, and everybody has a right. You have a right to make shitty films if you want to. You have a right to make good films. Anybody has a right to watch your films and say shitty things about it or say good things about it. Ain't nobody give a fuck. Yeah.
You know? but you know that if you feel like you're being attacked, because I think we were in a situation last year where I was 100% sure that this person was paid, you know, to write all this bad stuff because there was so much competition when our film came out. Even that one, right? I told everybody, just ignore. Don't go there and go and try to defend him because you're just giving the person unnecessary attention. Yeah. But some people that it has happened to felt the need to go and attack those people. And for me, if you want to go and attack back, enjoy yourself. Just don't advise young guys. For me, I don't advise young people coming along who really haven't fine-tuned their skills. I think they just leave them out of it. You know, but leave them out of it.
Cool, man. Cool. All right, so we're getting into the meat of the podcast. So Femi's here. Can you give me your phone? The bio is on it didn't show up on my own. Yeah, producer glitches. It's not you. It's not his internet. Before he says me. Sorry, guys. I have a cold. But anyway, Femi again is here. I'm going to read his bio. We're going to go into a lot of questions today. We're going to be talking about mostly distribution, but it's more like how to make money in Nollywood. I feel like a lot of people have a lot of people have like this mindset, like when they come into Nollywood. I was speaking to somebody recently and the person was like, oh, it's not just, making a movie, I'll just save money, I'll now shall do it. Then we enter into cinema now, I'll just do cinema film, we'll make money. Should be King of Boys is making money. When the party made money. It's not like that. So we're going to be discussing.
That's so easy.
Yeah, we're going to be discussing those things. So Femi has had some experiences, and we hope that you guys
will learn something.
Will learn from
hopefully.
Yeah, but let me read his bio. Femi is a film and TV director, producer. He has a Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of North Texas, the institution he started his filmmaking journey. He co-wrote, directed, and produced his first feature film in 2010 titled ZR7. I think that was when
that was a bonus
writing. Sorry?
No, you were writing.
That was when I was I was shooting Awakening. And then, your film came out. I think your film came out a couple of weeks or whatever before.
No, mine was like 2011.
When did 007 come out?
2011.
2011. Mine came out 2013, but I knew about 007, and that's how I knew about you. And then we eventually met. I think we spoke on the phone or something.
No, we met at I think AMBC.
Right.
That lobby.
Long time. Shit.
Yeah, long time. Man.
Anyway, yeah. So 007, the Red House 7, which was released in Nigerian cinemas in August 2011. He has produced 2 short films that were screened at the Short Film Corner of Cannes Film Festival. He's not a small boy. He has directed over 200 episodes of primetime TV, including fan favorites such as Ajocha and Jimmy G. Everybody will be like, oh my gosh, here we go again.
Oh, they tried to head and
he's one of the directors of the soon-to-be-aired African Magic series Unbroken. He's the founder and CEO of House Gabriel Studios, the company responsible for the production of Living Arrangements. I drove by when you guys were filming that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, a soon-to-be-released TV series, which Femi is the creator, producer, and director. They are also one of the production companies behind the feature film Soju Kokoro, which I've seen, Knockout Blessing, which I haven't seen. I don't know why. I'm not asking for a screener. Don't worry. I'll watch it. I pay money for it. He's the producer of both films and responsible for negotiating their international deals. On that line. I can say that right there. International deals. Femi is currently in pre-production for a few yet to be announced projects. Now, the reason, again, why Femi is here is because he's been doing this since 2010. He understands distribution and marketing for films. He understands. So when you say things like, oh, so I want to release a movie, what do I do? Femi is the guy to talk to because he's had his experiences. And not like he's had that, hey, I'm the god, this is my experience.
Yeah, I was about to say is not okay.
It's not like you have.
I can just share my experience and we can be okay. Yeah, we can be okay.
That's it. So you know, but we're gonna hit you with a couple of questions. So my first question is this. First of all, so that we're not just flying off on a whim, what's your filmmaking background? I mean, we've read a bit of it, but just give us things that we don't know about your filmmaking background.
Like what?
Like how did it all start, man?
Oh, it technically started before I went to uni.
This is not for decoration now. Tenny, I don't know any way you treat us in this place. No, what the hell, man? Yeah. I'm not. Give me a Thank you.
He won't say my name. Yes. For me, it started a bit in high school with a lot of stage. I guess for me, you had to start with stage, a lot of storytelling there. And after school, I went to boarding school. So during the holidays, I'd gather a lot of my cousins around, and we make stage plays for my extended family on my mother's side of the family. And in time, this stage plays turned to recording them, so almost like Tyler Perry stuff. So and I didn't know what I was doing. So I'd record. Everybody just act the play in the living room. I record it from one angle, just press record, and we had something. But when I went to uni, I picked University of North Texas because they had, I guess in Nigeria, it's a version of faculty, but they call it school of radio, television, and film.
Right.
Now, it's not like these young guys now coming in are enjoying. They can tell their parents they want to go to school and go and study film. Me, I said, it's accounting, I want to go and study. Yeah. And I ended up doing finance. I changed to finance, but I spent a lot of time in radio, television, and film. Because the film students, they had like school projects. So I did a lot of hands-on work. The classes you could take, introductory to filmmaking one-on-one classes we took. But other than that, most of the time I spent was on sets, was on student film sets.
Okay, so why did you decide to now pursue this as a career? Because I remember when I told my dad I wanted to go and do TV for film. Yeah. Well, I wanted to study directing for film. And he says to me, people don't study that thing anymore. In fact, they don't even travel to do it. Do something else with your life, And again, I don't know if I should say this, but I remember when, and I guess he said this out of love, my brother-in-law. And he was like, I remember one time he was like, go get a real job. You say you want to do a film. Get a real, I mean, I guess he said it out of a good place, like, which film do you want to do?
Yeah.
I mean, like 2013 or 2010 actually. Like, dude, man.
For me, slightly different. So, like I said, I was
already. And it's not like now where it is obvious that films are making money.
That time, there was nothing now. That time there was nothing.
So what was it for you?
For me, I was in the US. I wanted to come back home. I probably in hindsight, I probably should have tried my luck with Hollywood.
Yeah. But
it was daunting. You know, that big place, all their budgets huge, humongous. I thought I could come home and try my hands on it, and maybe I'd have the advantage of being Nigerian and being at home and maybe knowing someone, finding someone who knew someone somewhere. Yeah, I took a huge leap of faith.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big one.
And somehow it kind of paid off, man.
Yeah. Because
we here. Ojuko Koro, ZR7, Knockout Blessing, and a couple of other stuff you're working on. I see it's doing good. You're going to Cam's Corner, Short Film Corner. And I think you've garnered that experience. And it's sometimes when I sit down and we have these long conversations, I'm always like, I wish people knew what you knew. But anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the myths about distribution. So, it always starts with a conversation. Oh, I want to do a movie.
Yeah, it's always a funny conversation.
Especially with investors, which we'll get to in future. But I want to make a movie. Wedding Party made 400 million. I'm assuming that if I make a movie,
which I'll get close to that.
I'm going to make 400 million.
Yeah.
The cinema, once that I see it on Instagram, oh, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Wedding Party made 400 million. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to smile to the bank with 400 million naira. And that's what's up. Now, a lot of people watch this podcast, they want to do movies. Let's tell ourselves the truth. And it's not like these guys are lying. No, they're not. Please,
Wedding Party 1 did even more than 400. Like,
yeah, but when I say I think lying, like they're actually making that money, but the producers, so let's talk about what really goes on with film distribution, which is not a bad thing. It's just more like this is what you get. I don't want to use the word "this is what you're getting into," but this is what it is.
Okay, so let's use simple numbers that will be easy for anyone to do, plus or minus.
Yeah.
If your film makes 100 million naira, you're taking home, depending on your distributor, because some distributors charge 10%, some 12.5%, no, one 12.5%, and a few others 15%. But I think the 2 or 3 big ones charge 10%. So, but depending on your distributor, max, you take 35 million home. Minimum, about 30, maybe 31. That's out of 100 million. So literally, out of every 100 naira, you're taking anywhere from 30 to 31 naira, maximum 35 naira. So approximately 1/3 is what you're getting. The cinemas take half in the first week. In the second week, they take 55%. In the third week, they take 60%. And I can't even remember where it stops now. After that, they instantly take out, what's it called? Federal government taxes.
Like there's WHT and
I think there's VAT on it too.
Yeah, like you pay like 5% twice.
Yeah, so they take out taxes and then the funds go to your distributor. And then your distributor takes out whatever you guys have agreed. I mean, it's not as if you can negotiate, really. At least as far as I know, for whatever the distributor's fee is, okay, which is anywhere between 10 to 15%, it ranges. So after all that is gone, what you're left with is approximately 1/3. So yeah, the numbers are big. It's good, right? I think more importantly, what people starting out should put in mind is, you see, the people who are making 450 million, right? They have a more abudu behind it. Are you her? Do you have her brand influence? Do you own the kind of TV station she owns that it's a lot of its audience is the kind of market that can pay cinema money? Do you have that, right? Are you AY? Do you have the AY brand power, right? Are you a celebrity like Kemi? Can you convince Kemi's friends the way Kemi does convince her celebrity friends? AY does it too, convinces his celebrity friends to promote his film, right? Are you a celebrity to the point where people that are not even your friends, that you don't know that well, that you can just reach out to them like, hey, help me promote this film, and when you do yours, I'll help you do you have all that clout?
Let me ask a controversial.
All right, sure.
Question. Controversial. I mean,
I'll answer it as best I can.
We can waive it.
We'll answer it as best as we can.
Do you think that, because if you look at it, if you think about it, when you check ComScore, right? So for those of you that don't know, there's a website called ComScore. I think that's what it's called, where you can see how much money movies are making in the cinema across Nigeria at the end, or like basically every week.
Yeah.
If you notice, like I was doing research and I found out that one of the most highest grossing Nollywood movies were distributed by Film One. Now, do you think that that's a factor?
Of what?
Because most of these movies partner with Film One. Do you think that that's a sort of like a factor that new filmmakers should think about? Because apart from thinking about, let me hit the question.
Yeah, hit the question.
So apart from thinking about, first of all, with what you've told us about sharing formulas, so you're like, so for instance, if I have 80 million, and I'm saying I want to have 80 million, and I make a movie, and I make 200 million, and I take 30% of 200 million, 30% of 200. I'm not a math guy, but 10% is
30% of 200 million. You are talking about 60, just short of 70.
Short of 70 million.
Yeah, short of 70.
Which means I haven't made my money back. Yeah. Basically,
yeah.
is really what it is. But most times, is partnering with so I know that Film One is also they have a production company. So partner with that production company, does it also mean that it may be one of the good things to do to hit 400, 300 million?
It's an interesting question, right? And on the surface, it does look, it can seem like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean, I think for those really big films, I think obviously Film One has an input into whatever marketing they're doing or whatever advice they're giving to the producers. But I still say, if you just look at the numbers, right? How many people have done over 200? Period. Just 3 people. Just AY, Kemi, and Mo Abudu.
Kemi barely made, like she was like 200 and something.
Yeah, but it wasn't barely. It was comfortably over 200. Can't remember the exact numbers. Now this is how you're going to flip it. When you look at AY's first film, he did 130 million.
Yeah, and it wasn't Film One.
And it wasn't Film One. It was Silverbird, right? And at the time, right, even though he did 130 million and his most recent film has probably done double that, there were less than half the cinemas we have now then. True. So is it about Film One? I don't think so. But that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just you asking this question and me trying to do the numbers in my head. Yeah. No. I think it's about the brand. And the other way you can look at it from the angle of, is it about the distributor? Doesn't matter who it is, whoever the distributor is. I think it's about the celebrity producer or the brand producer behind the film. Because you look at this way, flip it. Look at the films, like you said, some distribution companies have production outfits, right? Yeah. I don't know how many of them, but the films they make on their own, without a brand celebrity producer behind it. Have you seen one of them cross 100? No. They've not even, by themselves, they've not done any of them. I'm not sure. A few of them are doing productions now.
Yeah.
I've not seen any of them cross 100 without partnering with actually one of those 3 people.
Yeah.
But when you partner with one of those 3 people, so is it possible that those 3 people, any of those 3 people do a film on their own and it does as much as they're doing? I think it's very possible. AY is a prime example, right? Is it possible that it does slightly less? It's possible, because I would think with all the big budget films, Film One alone is distributing. I would think there's a good effect to the numbers. I would think. I couldn't say for sure.
So with most of the things you're saying, I feel like there are a number of things that come together. So for instance, I'll give an example with Wedding Party. So the first Wedding Party, a lot of things constituted to the success of the film. One, which was, I think during that period, there was a little embargo on foreign films coming into the country. It was December. Everybody was home and people were looking for what to watch. It just came at the right time and it was a wedding party type movie, and boom.
Okay, so I think if we were, yes, I think if we were in a few months after the film stopped releasing in cinemas, people threw out all these things, right? But you see, the year before, Auntie Mo Abudu had done 50. For the number of cinemas that were available, I can't remember the numbers, but I think it did about 100-ish. I can't remember. But for the number of cinemas that are available, and I can't remember the number for sure, but for the number of cinemas that are available at that time, the year before Wedding Party, by Wedding Party, the cinemas number of cinemas has sprung up.
Yeah, it's sprung up.
So you kind of have to give it to her.
Yeah. You
get. And now you definitely have to give it to her because now we've seen her do Chief Daddy by herself. Yeah. Without any partners.
How much did Chief Daddy make?
360 or 70 or 80.
Yeah, but I think she had built a precedent. So, it's the...
But see her first film.
Yeah, but she also did Royal Hibiscus. That's what it's called, Royal Hibiscus.
Yeah.
Or whatever. That didn't do so well.
Yeah, Black Panther though. Yeah, do you come up with Black Panther? I can't remember who distributed that film, but whoever did needs to be questioned.
It wasn't a smart move.
Why would you not advise your producer to step away?
So I want to release my movie, Black Panther.
Remember how we used to talk about a month, 2 months before that this film is going to be a hit. Yes. We are, that's our
fanboys.
Yeah, we're the fanboys. But we knew it was going to be a hit.
Yes.
So I've asked myself, I'm like, man, whoever distributed this film should have at least advised this lady, bad move. Because she might not be in that world to understand it. But we knew this.
So here's another thing.
Yeah.
Advising filmmakers. A lot of people also have the idea that, so when I make a movie, I can just waltz into the cinema and be like, I want this date. It happened to my girl Genevieve. Yeah, you my girl. I don't know you, but yeah, whatever. She made this movie and then she went online. And correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I don't have the right information. And then she goes, oh, film 1, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Ma'am, like, you came in December. You brought your movie. Like, there are no free days. Like, every other person wants to release a movie and they've already... In fact... How it's done abroad. They've not even made the movie. They already have a release. They are always telling you this movie is going to come out summer 2023.
Yeah. That was interesting. But I think during that period of time, I was too busy with my own drama to totally focus on what was going on in that one. I didn't put full eye focus. But yeah, that was interesting times. And she said a lot. What I would have expected, right? What I would have expected is that after that situation, right? I would have expected that by now, the Cinema Association, Cinema Exhibitors, CN, whatever their name is, I would have expected that they'd have sat down by now and said, okay, based on what happened last Christmas, right? Let's put together a rule that says if by 60 days or 45 days or 30 days to the date you want, if you don't have a distributor already locked down, and we, the cinemas, have heard about it because they have their system, or maybe they email each other, but I believe they have a system that they put this thing on once somebody's taking on the film. Yeah. Put a timeline, 30 days, 45 days, 60, anything less than 30 will be silly, right? And announce it to all the producers so that we know, because that was the other thing some people were saying then. They were like, well, you can't blame her. There's no rule. Yeah. People can literally walk in 1 week before and drop their film and some cinemas will show it. But if you set a rule, and you would think after that situation they would have set a rule, We don't know if the rule exists. So like, why would they set up a rule and not inform everyone? I don't think they've done anything. I'm not really sure they are doing all the things that organization is meant to do. Yeah. So first things first, like basically everything we've talked about is number one. Releasing a movie doesn't guarantee you that you're going to make 100 or 200 million. No, stop putting it in your proposals. It ain't gonna work because there's a formula, like you said. The distributors take 10%, and then there's a percentage that the cinema also takes from you. So you end up walking away with 30%. 1/3ish. 1/3ish. Yeah. James is like 30%, so it's a bit more than 30. Just a bit more. Well, like 1/3. Like 1/3. Okay. Approximately 1/3 is I think is a better way to term it. Okay, that's number one. Number two, we also talked about so for instance, cinema dates. You can't just walk into a cinema house and say, "Oh, show my movie August 23rd," because I think that's what's going to happen. No, they are actually predetermining dates for other films. Yeah, first come, first serve. If you don't have a date, then that's what it is. No, I mean sometimes you see 2-3 films, Nigerian films come out on the same day. Yeah, I think I've seen up to 3. Someone told me recently that there were 4 films in one day, but I don't know that for sure. But I think I've seen up to 3. Yeah, so I mean, usually if you want to do a movie, ask questions first before you even start. But then again, let's move to the next part, which is
So everybody goes, oh yeah, so when I released the movie, that was it. Then I now do Netflix.
Ha!
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Well, you know what though, to be fair, that statement, my answer would have been different. For me, everything for me has changed in last, I'll say since June. You know, I'm kind of seeing a lot of things differently now. Best of all, I'm smiling a lot more. But I think now, that's an interesting question. So definitely 3 months ago, I would have laughed. Now, there seems to be a focus on Nigeria. And I do think in the next 3 months to 6, 6 is even far. 3 to 6 maybe, you will see a lot of Nigerian films on Netflix.
True, but not everybody thinks. So everybody thinks that
it's automatic.
Yeah, like
I know
is going to. I'll just do like 3 million. I'll shoot like one movie, 3 million. And then all of a sudden
you know that old slang they used to say, "Oh, you're on your own, on your own."
Okay, so we've talked about all the things that everybody thinks happens.
Yeah.
You know, when you're trying to make your film.
They also think the producers don't really do much.
Yeah.
That has to be my only conclusion, because I always wonder when investors complain that Nollywood this, Nollywood that, I put my money here, I didn't make my money back. And I'm like, okay, uncle.
No, wait. That's last question.
Okay.
Yeah, about to say that thing we talked about the other day. Don't worry, we'll get there. Okay, so we've talked about the myths and all that. So let's talk about best practices. Okay, so what is the first-time filmmaker, first-time investor? You have an investor, you have a producer. Based on your experiences, what have been the best? No, I don't say the best practices. What are the things that you've practiced that have been successful so far?
For me?
For you. And I don't, based on your bio that you allowed me to read that, so I know there's some things I can't talk about, but you've hit the international front, especially with distributing some of your own stuff. But I know I can't delve.
We can't talk about some of the details.
Yeah, but what are the best practices that you've done from like, how did you move from creating the film to getting the dates to securing the bag to moving abroad, all that stuff?
Okay, so basically, there are things that work smoother, far more smoothly, cost you less money.
Yeah.
If you have someone experienced that you're working with, if your producer is not a rookie, so even getting dates or the distributor to take your film, always good to have a producer like me, but I'm just playing. To facilitate all that. Motion picture business is the same all over the world. A lot of the conversations and the deals are done outside the office. Sometimes just over the phone. You need to be able to call someone up and say, okay, you know. So I think the last 2 films, unlike ZR, where the film was done in 2010 and it took us 6 months to get a date, and the date we got was 2 months after, right? Ojugogora was on set. I was like, hey, Ogbeni, sorry, no vex. I don't start shoot like 3 days ago. I need dates. So just let me know if you have what date is free. All right, bye. Done. That's it. Okay. Knockout Blessing was pretty much the same. I knew who I wanted to work with on that one, right? And I've kind of had those 3 films have been distributed by different distribution houses. So I called Genesis up, you know, I'm coming with you guys, let's go. Find a date. And when the film was ready, they sat down to watch it first. And that I appreciated. So one advice I'll give people, if your distributor hasn't sat down to watch the film, and you feel your film is good, run. Find one that has seen it, right? That understands what he's trying to distribute, so I can advise you, because no matter how experienced your producer is, you can't know everything.
Yeah.
So you get a date, you agree on what needs to be done for the film to go into cinemas, what kind of marketing. My system now is, once that film goes through the cinema route, for me, I can only speak for myself now. For me now, I make films that are tailored towards the film market. Okay, and it's a different world, literally. okay, the films that go to festivals sometimes, a lot of times trickle in, especially if they go through a major festival, right? And if that festival is tied to the markets that you're in, yeah, those films will trickle in. Because having that festival, a big festival logo on your film is a badge of honor. It gives all the buyers the confidence that, okay, yeah, let's just take it. We can market this for our fan base. Yeah. But for me now, I'm just making films that go to market. So we took Knockout Blessing to the American film markets. We sat down, negotiated the deals. Hey, like I said,
can't talk about it.
No, I can't talk about it, but that's not what I was going to say. Okay. It's good times now.
Yeah.
It's happy times.
Yeah.
So, but you will see, we have friends that go through the festival routes.
Yeah.
Right? That's their primary goal.
Yeah.
They might end up sending it to a Nigerian, to the Nigerian distributor. Let's say go to Nigerian cinemas for a cinema distribution.
A couple of guys I know, shout out to Abad. Abati Makama is doing Lost Okoroshi, which
Abba is focused on his festival route. I think CJ too is focused on that festival route. And there are others like that we might not even know.
Yeah.
They just focus on that festival route and they figured out how to make that film, make their money back from it, go and make another one. In between, they already know all the things they're doing. They're calling them to come and be judges on this thing, to come and be on this panel. They're paying them to do this. They're getting commissioned documentary jobs. There are varied ways. Everybody cannot sit down and say, I'm going to take it to the cinema, and after the cinema run, I will have 100 million in my pocket. It's not every. It doesn't. It works out. Yeah. When you even look at the number of films, there are going to be approximately. I know last year, right? So look at it last year now. How many films crossed 100 million gross last year? 3. Right? And I'm sure there were 80 or more films in Nigerian cinemas last year alone. So look at that percentage. This year there will be, from the figures, there will be over 100 films that go through cinemas.
And only one has really made a lot of money.
Only one has crossed 100 million so far this year.
Bling Legosian.
And don't forget about the 1/3 thing. Yeah. All this is gross.
Gross.
Yeah. All this is gross. Yeah. So, and she did an amazing job because this is her second film that's going through cinemas, right? Madam Bola St. Peters. No.
What was the last one?
Her last one was 93 Days.
Oh, sorry, 93 Days.
Yeah. So she's done good with this, and it looks like, I don't know for sure, but it looks like this is her path. So she has joined the big box office. Yeah, the big box office people, and that's good. That works for some people, right? And if you look at her, see her own CV with everything she has done in the theater. Plays, she already has a machine. She has brands behind her.
By the way, Auntie B, you don't look 50, man. You look like 25. Yo.
Make Fatima catch you.
I'm not joking though. Fatima, we good.
Anyway. So I guess what I'm trying to say is find your path. Yeah. There are some people that they are on just commissioned jobs. Right? Just bring the commissioned jobs and so those guys are even probably the ones making the most money. Me, So commissioned jobs. Yeah. Right? And there are a lot of them, whether they're getting commissions from Iroko or any of the other big TVs, they're doing commissioned jobs. Some of them, they're doing one big one.
Let's not talk about commissions from Iroko. That's a different conversation for another day. But moving on. I'm not about to start something.
No, it's see how I see it. Look at America, for instance. There are Hollywood big budget films.
Yeah.
And then there are people who are doing Hallmark, Lifetime. Everybody. I always say the motion picture industry of a country, especially like Nigeria, is like Westeros. There are like 7, 8, 9 different kingdoms. Everybody is doing their own thing within the same space. It's like Westeros divided up, but everybody's doing their own thing at the same time, and at the same time working together, because actors will flow in through all those productions, crew will flow through all those productions. So if it works for you, it works.
I'm not going to say anything about it, but maybe that's a conversation offline. I don't really believe in Jason's business practices. I think he's a smart guy. I respect him. But my views about his commission work with, as it pertains to rock, I have a couple of hard
You think the budget is low? Do you think it is low?
Think about it as, I think people are selling their birthright. You know, he tweeted something the other day, and like I said, I respect Jason. Look, any day, anytime, you know, we can have a conversation and tell me how I'm saying a lot of bullshit. And I mean, so it's not like I'm dissing you or whatever. He tweeted something and he was like, oh, he makes 1,000%. He's made 1,000% from Iroko and whatever. The tweet is online.
Yeah, I think I saw some people comment.
Great stuff.
I think I saw someone in particular comment.
Yeah, but I feel like half your company, or if not all your company, is built on the blood and bones of creatives. And it's what a certain company used to do before. And at some point I was like, hell no. I'm not going to sell you my entire rights to my creative content for what?
I get.
You get my point?
I get.
But guess what? People are doing it, and people are fine with it, and that's okay. So it's not like, oh, he's putting a gun to your head.
No, he's not putting a gun to your head.
He's not putting a gun to your head.
Which was what I was. What you've said now is what I was going to. I was like, hey, some people are walking into that place and they're. I mean, not me, but
yeah. You know.
If you want to do it, go.
Yeah, cool. But like I said, intelligent guy. I respect the guy. He's a very he's a businessman. Really cool businessman. Very intelligent dude. But yeah, those are just my thoughts, and that's it. Yeah, moving on. Anyway, so we've talked about best practices. You said, we talked about. You basically talked about the international market, how you jumped on that. I think one of the biggest problems that we have again is distribution, and it's great that different people have found their own way to form their own ecosystem. Yeah. To distribute their own films, which is one of the biggest issues here in places like America or whatever. I'll give an example. Like Disney has a company called Beno Vista. Those guys distribute all their stuff, TV content across the world through syndication, all that stuff, and people are making money from it. Here, the system is broken, but it's great that filmmakers have found their own little ways. And until that distribution ecosystem is being fixed, Femi has discussed his way on which he does things. And it would be great if we follow it. At least he's been successful in doing two of his films. A lot of investors have lost money, which brings us to my last question, which is, let's talk about investors. So Mildred Auntie M tweeted something a couple of days ago, which brought to my attention. And she says, it's amazing how businessmen are usually so good with money until they enter our industry and lose all sense of caution. So there are lots of stories about, I'm giving people money and I've been burnt. Because people come and tell them the same thing that we talked about in the beginning of this podcast, which is, bring your movie, we'll do it we'll put it in the cinema. When the party made 400 million, nigga, you gonna make some money. And the guy's like, take. Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second.
I find it interesting. It's interesting. So let me use an example. Yeah. And the people I'm about to talk about, right? I know one. I'm not even sure. I think I've met the person before, but they got my number from someone else. Somebody said, I'll call Femi. You know when all the drama was going, I say, I'll call. I'm like, why is it now they're calling Femi? The film is done. You know, the film has made zero money in cinemas. So they called Femi, and I said hello to the guy. I was a producer. It's the producer of the film, first time producer. And I realized in the course of the conversation that the EP was close by, or either I wasn't there, maybe in the same office or close by. Any which ways, at some point he put me on. I said, put me on speaker. Let me just say what I can. And the EP sub wasn't even talking initially, or the investor wasn't talking initially. And I said, this is my own here. We do real business in our motion picture industry, right? We do real business in Hollywood. So I find it weird that you want to make a film, okay? You want to put 1 naira into it and make 1 naira 50 kobo out, or 2 naira or 3 naira. But you have given your investment to someone doing it for the first time, hasn't gone through it before. Hello, where does that?
What were you expecting, man?
In what business fair does that work? And the only thing that makes sense to me is people see what we do, they sit down and they go, what do they know? Right? I can do that. Shebi is just to call a director. I'm
gonna call out a tweet.
Tweet again.
Hey, wait,
call a director and say that, and then bagan, the film will make money.
I have to look for that tweet. Hold on.
Doesn't work like that.
I tweeted something the other day and I said,
and they responded to you?
Yeah. I tweeted something yesterday and I said, let me just check the tweet. I said, producing is not as easy as most practicing producers make you think.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. I figured you were talking about probably commission projects or
basically.
But it works for it's across the board.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Some guy responds to me. Let me call his name. His name is Pope Ebuche. Yeah. I know you don't watch this shit anyway, but whatever. So he goes, what is producing? Oga, I've been observing the film industry for 29 years now. Get an A-list actor. See, my producer is her alarm. Alarm is calling me. I'm not finishing. Anyway, he says, what is producing? Oga, I've been observing the film industry for 29 years. Get an A-list actor, get a fine hotel room, call a big name director, and tell him what to do. Movies make themselves. Ha! I just responded. I said, okay.
Tell him to bring money.
I just said, okay, no problem.
He should go and give his money to any producer. He will hear back down.
But that's the idea that I love first.
Yeah, that is what I've noticed. First-time film investors kind of sort of come into. That's the mindset they come in with.
Yeah.
And when stuff hits the roof, they say, Nollywood people, they didn't give me my money. They did me a bad thing. And hey, yes, some of them, I've heard some nightmare stories. Some of them end up with people that are not producers.
Yeah.
So this particular person, right, as they were talking, I said, hold up. I realized that they were halfway through their film. Okay. And the person I was talking to wasn't the initial producer. He was trying to do the fix-up job. So I'm like, so who did you give the film to before? He's a director, not a producer. So I had to ask. I'm like, hello? Because by that time I realized there was a lady. I said, hello. What has this person produced before? Okay. These stories, it is weird how I was telling one of our friends a story, and he was calling like 3 other people that similar
experiences happened.
Had similar experiences.
Same person.
No, not the same filmmaker. You give somebody your film, right? Person might have a popular name, might not, might be unknown, might either not have done something before, or everything he has done is as a director, right? And you say you should go and produce film. And in his own experience or in his own greediness, one of them, okay, you have 100 scenes or 100-page script. He shot 40 or shot 30 or shot 60. Film shall never complete.
Money don't finish.
Money don't finish. And you're now saying Nollywood people. And I'm like, and when I heard the budget, I was like, shoot, we could finish 2 films. But hey, so it's
crazy.
Yeah. Even when I heard the initial budget she gave out, the money she doled out, I just said very calmly, I don't see how, even if you made a complete film, I don't see how you make that money back.
Yeah.
Money is just too big. You would need to have one of several people as your business partner owning at least half the film, and they will put all their energy into it for you to be able to recoup. And that's what I have seen so far. Is it possible some miraculous person comes tomorrow out of nowhere? Hey, maybe. Nothing is impossible, but 99% chance it won't happen. But maybe my percentage is a bit too high, but hey.
Closing on, I feel like I'll be closing out. I feel like we need to involve a lot of finance guys, a lot of more because I don't think people really take the thing as a business. They really don't. They just think, hey, let's shoot film back. We just stumble on it basically, and that's what it is. That we make these huge mistakes. I've said this thing like this is the second time I'm saying it on this podcast. I went for a meeting. Some guy said he had money to give in Hollywood or to give filmmakers. You know, he had this brilliant plan. Investment banker, and 2 girls were sitting down there saying, no, there's some films you can't do. Just do like wedding party. It will make more. I'm like, dude, man.
But you know that, right?
See, every time I keep calling wedding party, I've watched it. It's a great film. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm saying that it's a point of why I keep mentioning it. It's always a point of reference. Oh, because wedding party made 400 million. Any film we make 400 million.
Yes, but I also feel like we shouldn't forget that a lot of filmmakers are not in it about the money. They are in it to tell stories.
Yeah.
All right? And they figure out their way.
No, Femi, I disagree with you.
Wait, now.
I think a lot of...
Wait. A lot of people are in it to tell stories. Because me, personally, I feel if you're coming in and your only goal is... I must make money. All right. There are other things you can do. Go and sell pure water.
Oh, yeah, my names.
Yeah, there are so many other things you can do. All right. So when people are doing it and they're not making money and they're complaining, that's what is going on in my head. When people are doing it and they're making money, I'm like, nice. This is what you came to do. You've done it. But if you came into the industry to just make money and you're not making money, stop complaining. Go and do something else.
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of the people you're comparing your films and your works with, some of them are just here to tell stories, right? We have friends that will tell you, my next film is about what I want to do. Yeah. No market force is going to tell me, go and make comedy.
Yeah.
You must not make horror. That's what the cinema exhibitors will tell you. Yeah. You know, so do you.
Okay. All right, man. I think Jay had short, no question. Everybody, we good? You have a question? Yes. All right, say that. Sharp. Okay. We've done like 51 minutes now. Shit. Producer, sorry, don't be annoyed.
Yeah. Today. Hello, how are you? Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I feel like this guy, I'm trying to take over the role.
That's the plan. Okay. So this is the first time I know. I always know you as a director.
That's true.
Yeah, I know you as a.
You guys are working tomorrow.
At two sides, you know. There's Mr. Femi when I'm a producer. There's Director Femi. They gave me the nickname. It's not me. It's always okay. Yeah.
This new side is very interesting. You know. So question.
Yeah.
We've mostly talked about traditional distribution. Do you think there's a possible space or possibility of making money on internet? You know. Let me not say finding a way to make money via the internet.
Yeah.
Okay, especially for filmmakers and new filmmakers who don't have the money to make stuff for traditional media. For example, I only make stuff for YouTube. The only way I can make money from YouTube is probably merchandising and selling stuff from YouTube.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to use this to fund the films I create, also still for YouTube. Apart from this, is there any other way we can make money off online media?
Okay, it's a good question, right? I'd be unfair to give you an answer on something I haven't tried out. All right? Now, the different stories, one of the stories I've heard, so disclaimer, I haven't tried it out. So I have heard about people, I've met people who create content, right, based on a story or whatever, and they do a regular scripted content, and they blow up. It gets amazing numbers, okay? And then brands come in, say, hey, we are this, we are M&Ms, we're this, we're that. You know, we want to be a part of you on what you're doing next, okay? I have heard those stories, but I haven't done it personally. And I'm always wary of advising someone based on what I haven't done. Vic Sanchez is someone that you should talk to.
Yeah, he was last time. He talked about his.
Okay. Someone you should talk to. Trying to remember names of all these other people who are doing it big online on YouTube. Let me think, and I'll try and get you some names.
I will say. Let me say something. So the thing is, usually I always say that, like you said, it's always a means to an end. So the perfect example is This Is It. This Is It was a show done by, I can't remember her name.
Lola D. I watched it, loved it.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was intentional, but she got this Kenyan actor in it, and you know, nice chemistry, whatever, and it brought in the Kenyan fan base. Apparently, they did a season 2. They took her to Kenya. She did a Kenyan film. You know, opened up some deals in Kenya, right? Mm-hmm. So that was a means to an end. Just like you said, it had the numbers. Brands came in, and they're like, "Yo, bam, let's do something." Bam. Another example, even though it's for a bank, but then they show like TMC. Imagine if it was one singular dude, if he was toasting himself, Tola himself, Tolu, whatever it is, that just single-handedly put his money in and put it on his own social media platform and did the TMC, show. 2 seasons going on. Tenny was at Slave Festival yesterday when Effa, you're mad, just in case you see this. Yeah. And girls were tripping.
Girls screaming. Dude. They could have offsets right there.
Like
Really?
TMC has a huge fan base, man.
Wow.
Like it's crazy.
Wait, calm down. Which effort? Our effort?
I know.
Are you sure?
I've seen you finish. But yo, like, imagine after 2 seasons, if brands are not looking at them already and saying shit, it's UBA. But imagine if it was just the guy who executive produced the show.
Imagine if it was someone that just did it himself.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it.
So it's always a means to an end. It's not like the American system where there's so many people that are hooked up to the internet, so you're getting money from views, and then you can also do product placement and all that stuff. Here it's a peculiar market. But like I said, we've never tried it before. We only have ideas, and we can only say this is how it works. But yeah, that's it. Anyway, thank you so much. My producer is waving her hands and telling me, James, it's enough. We've done 55 minutes. Thank you so much, Femi, for coming through.
Sure, bro. 55 minutes.
Yeah.
Anybody going to? People are going to play and watch 55 minutes.
Funny thing, people send me messages like, oh man, Auntie Mildred actually watches this thing. Shout out to Auntie M. We should have her on the show one of these days. Yeah, I'm talking.
Yeah, she cool people.
Yeah, she cool people. So, yeah, thank you so much for coming. Please don't forget to put your notification button, subscribe to us on YouTube, email us at the industry _J and the industry hosted by J. Fuck, how can I forget about what? I'll put the email in the description. I can't remember my own email. It's the industry hosted by James @gmail.com, and then the Instagram is the industry _JO. God damn it.
All right, guys.
Whew! So, yes, I'll put the Femi's Instagram. You can holler at him, ask him any questions, or you can even ask us the questions. It's important. This is we're educating you guys. So, we don't have all the answers. We're just talking. And none of the things we've said is out of a place of beef. We love everybody we've talked about, including Jason and Joko. I love you, man. You know, even if I don't know you, I met you like twice. Yeah, but yeah, whatever. But obviously, free speech. I can say what I like about. I mean, I can say how I feel. It's how I feel. Yeah, you know. If you don't like the way I feel, then give me like 100 million. Let me do a movie for you. That's all. Okay, moving on. Shameless plug. Yeah. Oh,
your haircuts.
fresh. You know, yes, I've cut my hair, but I don't think I'll cut my hair till next year again. You know, thank you very much. All right, see you next week Wednesday. Sorry, the last episode came late. This is because obviously crunch time on the show that we're doing, but I promise you, I will try my best that this time episode comes early. If it doesn't, well, you know what it is. Thank you so much from me. Peace out, Femi.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye, guys.